Did you record?
No, not yet.
Well.
What up?
What's
We're
up?
back.
Sorry, we're back. Yes, sorry we're a little bit late. Some technical difficulties, partially my fault. Had to get some shit in order, but
My fault too.
we are
I
here.
didn't reset that password.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out. So we're not streaming on Twitch, and I think that there's something with the restream, like having to like get that straightened out or whatever. But whatever. We're gonna move on. I'm over it. All right.
Are you
Cool.
sure?
So I'll try to be over it. I'll try to be over it. Where's my alcohol? So
I'm drinking tonight?
No, I'm not.
Not one day after Eid, right?
Yeah.
Can't do that. Goodness.
Dude, I was supposed to be off today, right? So Eid was yesterday. So Eid Mubarak to like all my brothers and sisters. So Eid al-Adha was yesterday. I was supposed to be off. I mistimed like when my time was supposed to be off, and my boss is out of town. So I'm kind of assuming. I won't say I'm assuming his responsibilities, but I'm kind of doing things in that sphere as well.
Mhm.
So and I was supposed to be off today, but like one of our releases failed, so I was kind of on just periodically throughout the day, just trying to take care of that shit. And yeah, so that was fun. So that was my day. How was your day?
Yeah, I mean, we've got deadlines we're trying to meet as well.
Mhm.
And definitely been pulling in some extra hours, so that's why we weren't on last night, for one. Well, I know you couldn't get on, but yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. But you know, things are going pretty good, man.
That's good
Can't
to
complain.
hear.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Saw the picture with you and the family. It was really, really good to see.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You guys celebrated Father's Day, so that was great. So yeah, happy belated Father's Day. If I didn't say it to you already, I know it's like 2 weeks ago.
You didn't, jerk. But thank you.
Well, I did now. Now what? Now
it's all
what?
good, man. It's all good.
I did what? I did now. Okay.
It's funny, like the kids are at the age where they can, well, at least the oldest is at the age where she can like write me something. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So now I'm getting like the cards with like, you know, best daddy ever, but instead of ever, it says like Eber, EBER. So it was cute. It was funny.
That's adorable. Aww, you can't be mad at that.
Oh yeah, man, love it.
You can't be mad at that. Well, let's get into it. We're starting a little bit late.
Yeah.
But let's get started. I kind of wish I had some alcohol because we have some shit to get through today. With the Supreme Court justice ruling. So, wow, if you guys haven't heard, the Supreme Court justice, which by the way is a 6-3 split between conservatives and liberals, right, has decided that affirmative action can't be at play when it comes to college admissions, right? So there was a lawsuit against Harvard and North Carolina, where lots of students have been complaining about how, well, I won't say lots of students, certain students have been complaining about not getting into their preferred schools and whatnot. And they've been trying to get rid of this rule for years. And it finally happened. But, you know, I have a bunch of thoughts. That's why this shirt today feels appropriate. So I have lots of thoughts on that, but I want to get your thoughts first.
Well, I mean, I feel like we're being attacked on all sides here, right? You have the stuff going on in Florida with them rewriting the history books, right? I don't know if you've seen that online, where they showed like 3 different drafts of a passage about Rosa Parks, and it basically got whittled down to where it was just like she didn't want to leave her seat because she was tired. The end, pretty much. And she didn't follow the rules, so she got arrested. Something along those lines.
Rules are the
Then
rules.
then you have Texas, right? In February, the governor's office like sent a warning to state agency and public university leaders about the use of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, and basically like getting rid of all of them. And I think they signed a law into effect like recently. I'm trying to look at the article, or whatever. But I think that just went into effect where basically like all the diversity and inclusion um, offices, like you can't have them anymore. Same thing you were saying, like you can't diversity can't be like a reason for hiring or going to
You
accepting
can't hire based off
college
of
applications.
you can't use race as a part of the
Yeah.
part-time process now. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's upsetting, man. I mean, the history. I mean, I'm not even going to get into the history thing because I could go on about that all day, right? But I mean, this is blatant racism, in my opinion. And you have I feel like the argument is that we're at a point now where everything is equal and race doesn't matter anymore. But that's not just not true, right? If you get rid of those programs, just wait and see. Like there aren't going to be that many black people in Harvard. I mean, there never were anyway, right? And then you know you're just minimizing like all the minorities at this point. So I'm not really understanding like what they're trying to do. So
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
it's
Yeah,
upsetting,
absolutely.
man.
Yeah, it's a concerted effort, right, to minimize black people or black and Hispanic people, actually all persons of color, right?
Yeah.
And they're using Asians, the model minority myth, to do so, right? And
Yep.
it's the most like frustrating thing. Um, I have a couple of videos that I want to play. They don't play like a lot. There's more reading than playing, but I,
Hmm.
I want to kind of show a little bit of um, kind of what this has been about. So let's play the first one.
Mm.
So
That was
if you
quick, but that was
yeah, it
interesting.
was quick. It was quick, so let me go ahead and read it. Data shows that white women have benefited the most from affirmative action, so don't be deceived. The Supreme Court ruling is it's not about affirmative action in its true form. The focus was intentionally narrowed to race to uphold white supremacy. Right? That's one. Here's another thing that I think you should hear out. All right, that's another quick one too. But according to this one, according to this, nearly half of white students admitted to Harvard between 2009 and 2014 were recruited athletes, legacy students, children of faculty and staff, or on the dean's interest list. Applicants whose parents or relatives have donated to Harvard. Right. So it's amazing how we're attacking race. Right. How people attack race in this
Yes.
here. um, but choose not to look at the other reasons why there's limited space at these institutions, right? Um, it's about money. It's about all these other things, and you want you target um, the African American community. This is what this is about, right? Minorities in general, but mainly African American community. That's the main focus. That's the main people that they're targeting here, right? Um, and I want to also say that this has kind of been a thing since um, this has been a long time coming. For years, they've been trying to get this for years. Um, like Clarence Thomas, the one who's benefited the most on the Supreme Court from like affirmative action, probably voted against it because, of course, he is. He's a douche, and he is. He is.
Continue.
That takes money from
Continue.
billionaires and shit, and he's like, "Oh, it's not illegal. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't get paid enough for this job. Like, you get fucking all that you need to." And then his wife tried to overthrow the government, but whatever. Um, like it's I think the one last thing I want to kind of add to this too. There's like another video that I forgot to download from this group called like What the Law Says. They do a really good job of kind of analyzing like these rulings from a very neutral position. I forgot to download that prior, but yeah, it sucks right now.
Yeah.
And I
So
think you said it perfectly. We're being hit on all sides,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, I
Um,
really feel attacked. I feel targeted about that.
yeah, I feel targeted.
Right?
We should start a podcast with that name.
I feel targeted. But
You
no.
know, the
So
funny thing is,
okay.
oh, the sad thing is that I really thought about changing our name, but it's super
No,
appropriate now.
no, we're not changing the name. We're not changing the name. But check this out though. So this is a study from 2021, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just statistics on student diversity at Harvard. So 42% of the faculty at Harvard are women. Okay. 14% of the undergraduates at Harvard are African American, or at least identify as African American in 2021. 11%, 11.4% of undergraduates are Hispanic or Latino. 23% of undergraduates are Asian American. 1.3% of all undergraduates at Harvard are Native American, Hawaiian, or Pacific Islander. And then 50% of Howard College undergraduates are female, and 41% of undergraduates at Harvard identify as white. So, right there, like, if the only thing that you get rid of is race, I mean, there's still, they're still accepting you. Your gender may come into play if they accept you or hire you, right? Because it seems like they're trying to keep about half men and women as far as faculty is concerned, and as far as the population is concerned. I mean, it's like right at 50%. So that can't just be by chance, right? I went to the school I went to, Hampton. They had an 8-to-1 female to male ratio, right? But I mean, that says a little bit more. There's just like less black men going to college, right? But
Wow, that's you must have had an
at the
interesting
time,
time
at the time that I was
graduating.
going, right?
Wow, yeah,
But I think it's interesting that the split between male and female is exactly 50%, right? Whereas you read all of the different minorities, 14% being black, 23% being Asian, 11% being Latino. It's like they kind of break it up a little bit. And it's already hard enough to get into Harvard anyway. I mean, let's be real, right? You have to have a great GPA. You definitely have to test well. And let's be honest, like, standardized testing isn't something that, all communities are necessarily good at, right? And we're
yep,
definitely, I mean, when you look at the black community, we don't always have the best test scores, right?
that's correct.
So you just feel like you're just being weeded out. You know what I mean? And as troubling as this is, especially when we talk about Harvard, to me, I'm kind of hoping that it causes a shift, especially in the black community, going back to HBCUs. I mean, honestly,
Hmm.
there was a thought for a while. It's like, are they still necessary? You're hearing some things about it. We already have a lot of the schools that have had to close because they don't get the funding. They're certainly not getting funding from the government necessarily. Hampton's a private school, right?
I didn't know
So
that. Okay.
yeah. So if you start seeing things like this, it's definitely a negative because as a person of color, you feel like is that much more difficult to get to go where you want to go. But at the same time, I think it's a good thing because it makes you look closer at your own community, right? It's like, all right, I'm hearing, I have a dream school. I want to go to Harvard. It may not be as likely that I get to go there, but I get the legacy, the culture. I get to immerse myself into what it is to be me, for 4 years at at an HBCU, and that's exactly what I needed because where I grew up, I was for a long time, or for a lot of my schooling, I was the only black kid in the class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to get that experience in HBCU, I certainly applied to the UVAs and the Techs and Virginia Techs and all that stuff, VCUs and all that type of stuff. But Hampton, HBCU ultimately, was the best choice for me. I'm very happy I went there. So
yeah. Well, that's a great promotion for Hampton and HBCUs.
well, of course, gotta promote.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, no, I think it's good. You make some good points here. The one thing I do want to point out though is that, and I think you alluded to earlier, a lot of these schools aren't funded well, right? Um,
Absolutely.
like my family, my parents went to Southern University, down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They've struggled a lot with funding, right? Um, Howard, per se, right? A lot of their students.
I
Um,
don't talk about Howard.
I'll talk about Howard for you.
Okay.
um,
Shout out to Howard. Shout out
yeah,
to my
a lot
Howard
of their
brothers and sisters.
students, they complained about the residency, right? So
Yeah, I heard about
like
that.
yeah, a lot of the those dorms are not up to code.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's just a lot of funding problems there, right? So, yeah, it's as we said earlier, it's a full-on attack. You see what you got going on in Florida, right, where they're trying to rewrite revisionist history, right? You see what you're doing in Texas, revisionist history, right? They've demonized the word woke to mean something that it was never intended to mean,
And
right?
critical race theory. I mean,
And
just put it
critical
all
race
out there.
theory, right? Um, yeah, they've demonized all of those things, right? Um, and now this, right? It's a very clear direction of what they want to push this country towards, right? And they're using other minorities and other black people like Clarence Thomas, like the Asian kid that joined the lawsuit, right, to accomplish this goal, right? Um, and they don't really know that what team they're playing for. Like once you've done their bidding, they're gonna kick you to the curb, right?
Yeah.
So it's very 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 unfortunate um,
Yeah.
that this has happened, but
I mean,
um,
this is why it's stuff like this, right? Where I think being a person of color, like you have to think about so much more, right? So
yeah,
let's say you know I'm be let's say my name is Shaniqua Johnson, right? I apply to Harvard. They might just throw my joint out just because of the name, right? Because they boom
yeah,
assume black, boom, you're out of there, right?
yeah.
So for us is now we got. I'm not saying we should or it's right, but for some people, they might think twice about using a cultural name, right, or
Oh
something
yeah,
of a name of African descent or
that's been a
whatever,
thing. That's been a thing
right?
already. That's been a thing already.
So
For
there's that
example,
too.
one of the Republican candidates, Nikki Haley, that's not her name. That's not her birth name, right? I
Yeah.
actually looked this up recently. Her birth name, I can't even pronounce it, right? And as someone who went by Wale and then, well, actually Wally for a long time in Louisiana, I get it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, of just kind of appeasing, just to kind of just surviving. But at the same
Well, you're
time,
trying to
these
stay off
people,
their radar too, right? Because now you feel like,
yeah,
all right, if they're not going to take into account the fact that I am black and my
yeah,
experience is clearly different. I mean, now I
yeah,
gotta do something to make it seem like I'm just another whoever.
yeah. So Nikki Haley's full name is Nimarata Nikki Renhawa Haley. That's her full name, right? And she doesn't use like obviously the ethnic parts of her name because of like she's in America and more importantly, she's running for presidency in the Republican Party, right? And imagine like how much crap Obama was given for his name, right? Hussein, right? Uh, so it's very very just telling. One other thing I want to point out too um, is Oh, by the way, shout out to the people following us on Instagram. Kat, I see you. My cousin Io, Jess, much appreciated. Thanks for following. Um, so yeah, I think one thing, this is kind of the result of the 2016 election, right? I've
Oh,
said
of
this before.
course,
I'll say this
no
again,
question.
right? A lot of people, like I remember when Roe v. Wade um, went down, and our one of our colleagues was like, "How could this happen like during a Democratic presidency?" I'm like, because the Republican guy prior, who lost the election twice, who no, who lost the popular vote twice, was impeached twice, got to pick not one, not two, but three Supreme Court justices. Right. Keep in mind they punted on Obama's Supreme Court pick,
Oh, of course.
um, Marlin, right, who's now the attorney. This God, what's the top lawyer for the government? It's a
The
district attorney,
damn. That's
U.S. Attorney General. That's his name, Attorney
thank
General.
you. It's so sad.
Yes, man. Yeah.
Who?
Um, yeah. So yeah, like he's not. He was supposed to be in Supreme Court, but they decided, nope, we're just gonna see how the election turns out, and oh, Trump won. Good. We get more conservative picks, right? It's truly just a joke, but it's also on us too, right?
I
Also on the
vote.
awful thing of how do we fix this? Expand the court, right? Um,
I would.
I,
I actually. I don't think you need to expand the court necessarily. I think they should be voted in. I don't think they should be in there for life.
that's another thing, though. I think the problem with that, though, is that they have to make a lot of decisions, and if well, that's actually a good point because if they are voted in, right, this country we're very fickle, right? We're from
Hmm.
Democrat, like we literally went from Obama to Trump. That's how fickle this country
Yeah.
is, right? So, um, I'm not sure if voting in like someone that's supposed to make these really important, life changing decisions is supposed to happen. I think it should help represent the will of the people, and they don't represent the will of the people, right? They were put in they were put in office by presidents that have lost the popular vote. Because I think George W. Bush got to select at least one
Yeah.
Supreme Court justice. He lost the popular vote his first time, right? And Trump lost the popular vote twice. Thankfully, the second time he lost the popular vote, he didn't get to be president again. Thank God for that. But like, um, this shit here, like it's super
Yeah.
frustrating and annoying, and
But I think they should be voted in though because now that you have these lifers in there, right?
yeah,
You play this game just like the Republicans did, right? They play this game where it's like, oh, Obama's gonna be able to pick a judge. Let's punt on it. Let's BS on it until he
yep,
has to leave office. All right, now one of our guys is in there, and it just so happens that like three, there's three openings. If
yep,
you have elected officials, then it's more the will of the people than it isn't. At least, I mean, but at least at that point, then you don't play that game where it's like, all right, we BS, one side gets to BS the other side and basically install people in office
yeah,
that can further their agenda for the next 20, 30 years or however much longer that they live, right? I'd
yeah,
much rather see something like that. Maybe they maybe they have like a 10-year term or something like that because yeah, I'm kind of with you. They probably need to have a longer term because there's so many decisions to be made, so many cases to be heard, and you lose that you obviously lose some knowledge and familiarity when you lose a judge with what was going on, right?
yeah.
But I think it would benefit from them being elected. Now, what does expanding the court even do? I, you know,
Well, so here's the court has been expanded a number of times in the past. I think at least three times in the past, right? This is an idea that I actually got from Robert Reich, who was the former labor secretary under Obama. Um, and I guess to answer your question, what's expanding the court do? Well, I mean, obviously it's explanatory, right? Um, but I think it can also help course correct kind of what has happened, right? Because the fact of the matter is that there is a large number, I'm assuming at least four, right? Supreme Court justices that were assigned and appointed by a president that had lost the popular vote, right? This does not represent the will of the people. It just doesn't, right? Um, if the president represents the will of the people and he gets to select a Supreme Court justice, right, then that they also need to represent the will of the people too. So maybe voting helps, right, because there's less finagling on that side. But then again, like Trump got in the office, right? So can you trust like the American people to?
I mean, we use him. You know, we kind of beat him, you know, to death or whatever about.
Yeah.
But that's one guy, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the will of the people has been decent thus far. You know, in the past 200 or so years.
Mm-hmm.
You have one idiot. I think we're. You know what I'm saying?
Idiots, but
I just, you know, if you expand the court, what happens when it, you know, let's say you give it two more people, right? So then it just so happens when the expansion goes through, you have Republican president. Then what? Two more Republican judges, right? Nothing
right.
changes.
There's that's a good point there, right? Where they just think of revenge, right? So
that's all they're doing. That's both sides. That's all they're doing. It's just you know, being petty. Obviously, one side is way more petty than the other.
One side's much
as
worse than the other.
You know, history has shown. But yeah, I don't think they should be voted in, man. That's
okay.
Vote them in.
That's fair. That's fair. Good stuff. Okay, cool. Well, we hit that topic enough. Let's move on to the next one. So, if you've been living under a rock last week and a half, a bunch of billionaires decided to. Well, actually, let's.
Oh boy! No. Yeah, no, you started it.
Let me take a step back. A bunch of very rich people decided to go into the ocean on a poorly regulated vessel, right? And I'm not talking about the Titanic. I'm talking about people that went to go see the wreckage of the Titanic, right? Literally, the Titanic was a poorly made, like that ignored a lot of regulations, right? They ignored lifeboats, turning ruders were too small, right? All sorts of things, right? Very, very arrogant about what they were doing, and they got killed. So, and obviously, Titanic, huge disaster. Everyone knows about it. There was a movie about it, like one of the largest movies of all time. So, anyway, this is a guy named Stockton Rush, right? Entrepreneur, CEO of Oceangate, and what he did is that he created the submersible, I think is what it's called, right? To go and visit the Titanic, and he brought in a lot of very rich donors to help pay for this excursion, right? What happened was that he cut a lot of corners, which I will play like one of the videos right now, as just to kind of see the delusion of this guy, right? And he's supposed to use like straight titanium, right, for those type of deep sea excursions. He did not. He used carbon fiber, which is good for flights. Carbon fiber is durable and light, right? So you see it a lot for planes and for cars. You're not supposed to see it for like dealing with a lot of pressure under the ocean, right? So use carbon fiber and titanium, and a PlayStation joystick controller to control the submarine. You didn't know this? Oh yeah, and it freaking exploded. It imploded. So yeah, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and just play that video for you so you can see.
Submarine. We honestly had no idea what would happen in the days to come. We're on the platform right now, about to get inside the submarine. It's getting real. Jeez, I'm a little nervous now, boys. We're inside the submarine right now. Got the owner right back there. When you go in the submarine, someone on the outside literally bolts you shut. All right, guys. We're sealed. We're in here. I guess we're about to go head first like this.
Titan is ready for dive.
Oh, we're going right now? Oh, we're doing it. Oh my Jesus.
You're good.
We are all upside down right now, you guys. See that? We're underwater. Stockton, what are you using to control the submarine? If you're chasing big dreams and pushing your limits, obviously dangerous things can happen. I had an unbelievable experience. I met some incredible people. I'm taking home memories that I would hold dear to my heart for the rest of my life.
I saw the controller.
Sorry, I was on mute. There's another video that I wanted to download, but I don't think I have the time to. So that guy, he went on the Titan submarine the trip before it imploded. So one trip before it imploded, right? Talk about dodging a bullet, right? A huge.
So the submarine
bullet.
actually made this trip, the same trip to see the Titanic before.
Oh yeah, multiple times. What's happened though was that they've always had problems with this submarine, or the submersible rather, just because of, again, the way it was built. The problem though was that after this last time, there were enough enough wear and tear where it actually imploded. There's a great YouTube video that I'm gonna try to download a little bit, that shows exactly what happened to the Titan submersible. So yeah, but yeah, thoughts. Thoughts.
Well, first of all, wouldn't catch me on it. Okay, that's number one. Send me some video. Send a robot. Send me some video. That's number one. First and foremost. Okay. I don't do submarines. I'll do a boat. I've secondly, like, I mean, as horrible and tragic as this accident was, I still wonder why it got so much more publicity than some of the other things that were going on that was boat related. Like the boat full of immigrants that sunk in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, that was capsized and like 700 people died. Hello?
And we heard nothing about it. So, I mean, it was terrible what happened. And then, but I'm bouncing around. But then the other thing I heard too was like the CEO, like you said, he cut a lot of corners. Like he had some warnings about what he was doing. He was just like,
oh yeah,
kind of just ignored them all, about the materials and some of the stuff that he had built into the submarine. I mean, won't catch me doing it, bro.
Yep. Nope, absolutely. That's exactly what happened. I'm trying to download that. It didn't download, so that's just annoying. What the CEO said, and it's just very, 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 very damning. And that's just not how I would like to go out in my life. So I'm saying, right? But
I read some description of like what the people in there experienced as everything happened. Man, it could give you nightmares, bro.
Yeah, I think the only good thing that kind of came out of this though was that there's not a lot of good things that came out of this too, but one of the few decent things that came out of this was that at least they died quickly, right? Which is not something you really want to say, but at the same time, it's like.
I mean, did they? They were just sitting down there waiting for the oxygen to run out.
No. So I'll show you. I'll show you. Let's just play this video. I think it should be done now. So let's play it. So this guy, I love following this guy. His content on social media. He raps, but at the same time, he is like I think he's a chemistry major, right? I think he has a master's in chemistry. So he talks about like exactly what happened. So this will kind of explain like what happened.
Can is a Titan submarine, and what we're going to do is fill it up with a little bit of water, and then we're going to heat it up in it. And as we heat it up, all of the water is going to turn into water vapor, and the pressure is going to increase inside of the can in it. And then when we put the can into some cold water, all of the water vapor turns back into liquid water in it. So the pressure inside the can rapidly drops because the liquid water takes up less space than the water vapor in it. And because the pressure inside the can is low and the external pressure is high, it gets compressed in it. This is known as implosion. You done know, fam. Titanic things.
Implosion is what happened, right? So I was watching another video too about this, and apparently, like all the people there are like that was the talk initially, right? Was that we've lost the Titanic, they're running out of oxygen. It's like nah, they were gone for a while, right? Because of the implosion, right? So like there are body parts now, right? Apparently, it's like every molecule in your body is being ran over by a car. It's apparently what it sounds like, what it felt like, and it was about. Apparently, they died in seconds, right? So, yeah, it sucks, but yeah. One other thing, and as you said too, we've talked so much about this issue and not the other issues with immigrant crisis, right? Or how in Greece, this actually is a story that happened. So as you know, there's been a lot of immigrants coming from Africa, from Syria, right, trying to get to Europe, right? So apparently, Greece, what these guys have been doing is just rounding up these guys on their border, or is it Italy, right? Rounding up these guys on their border, and just putting them in a boat and just leaving them out at sea, right? Just put them on a raft and just leave them there, right? Kids, too, children, right? And we've talked about this a lot. I want to hit up Stockholm Rush. So this is the guy, the CEO. Yeah, let's hear what he has to say.
Be remembered as an innovator. I think it was General MacArthur said, "You're remembered for the rules you break." And you know, I've broken some rules to make this. I think I've broken them with logic and good engineering behind me. The carbon fiber and titanium. There's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did.
You sure did, man. And now we all know why there's a rule you don't do it. Carbon fiber, while just as strong as steel, is prone to weakness after multiple cycles of pressurization that come from making the dives down to the Titanic. This is exactly what the whistleblower warned about, that the carbon fiber design might hold up for the first dive and the second dive and so on, but each time it gets weaker. And without testing in place to ensure its strength, then on one of these dives, sometime in the future, it will eventually fail. And that appears to be what happened on the ship's fourth tourist trip to the Titanic. But to Stockton, it couldn't have been any other way. The carbon fiber design was essential to his business model for Oceangate. Lighter than steel and titanium, carbon fiber would allow Titan to be larger and thus to accommodate more passengers. Most deep-sea submersibles fit 1, maybe 2 people, but Titan could fit up to 5. Passenger part was always key for Stockton. He didn't want to seek public funding for his deep-sea research because that would mean Titan would have to be certified to the highest standards. Regulatory bodies would have to examine the ship. So the big idea Stockton had was for it to be privately funded by rich people who want to go on an adventure to the bottom of the sea. And to avoid regulation, Oceangate set up in international waters. In this video, taken of Rush christening Titan, he laid out his libertarian vision for the future of private-funded deep-sea exploration.
It's our belief that without innovative technologies and innovative business plans, where we are having individuals help us by supporting our Titanic survey expedition and the research that's going to be done there, without that, we won't get the kind of exploration we need in the ocean. And that the days of government funding are gone. It really needs to be a private enterprise, just as exploration was at the turn of the last century, where people with means make the exploration possible.
You can evade government regulations, but you can't evade physics at the bottom of the ocean. Right.
All right. Yeah, it's a pretty long video. I didn't think it was going to be that long. But yeah, pretty telling,
This
right?
dude needs to go to jail.
Oh, no, he's dead.
He needs to go to jail.
He's dead.
Oh, wait. Oh, he was in there.
Yeah, he was in there. He's dead.
Oh, man. I sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gone.
Gosh.
So, yeah, he's gone. Yeah. So,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
It's bad. It's really, really bad. I'll play one last thing too. This is kind of more of a joke. So you saw the PlayStation controller, right? So here's kind of a joke. Funny.
Oh my god. The internet is undefeated, I swear, man. Oh my gosh.
Oh goodness gracious. Okay. Yeah, I think we've given the rich billionaire enough to talk about. But yeah, were you gonna say something?
No, just the fact that like just that last video that you played, just the way to explain why he did what he did. Like, oh, no public funding because I don't want any regulatory bodies to take a look at what I'm doing.
Oh,
what?
Hold on. Yeah, hold on.
That's crazy to me.
He didn't say the regulatory body part. He was like, "Oh, no public funding, all private." Like that's the pitch, right? But that's the reason why they do these sorts of things, right? Because if it's government funding, right? You got there's some like the government's liable if they're funding for this. So of course they're gonna have some regulations, right? If they're funding this, right? And that kind of tells you with all these little private funded stuff, like what these guys are saying is like, are you saying this because you want to avoid using government funds, or are you trying to skirt accountability? And it's kind of clear that they're trying to skirt accountability with this kind of stuff. So it's just it's really fucked up, to be honest with you, man. It really, really, really is. There was a story that one of the guys there, his son didn't want to go. His son was scared. His 19-year-old son was scared, right? And rightfully so, right? There were a number of people that actually declined on going because of like how poorly like regulated it was, right? But he's had a lot of people kind of talk about, hey, this is not safe. You should do something. You should do something about it. And he's had them fired. So, yeah, really, 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 really messed up kind of stuff there. Probably stuff that probably don't even talk enough about, to be honest with you. Just want to talk about how like the shit's disappeared. We don't want to talk about the whys and how that's happened, right? And how this industry needs to be regulated. It just does, unless we'll be seeing more stuff of this, right?
Sad, man.
And on top of that too, like Virgin Atlantic Virgin Galactic just announced, because this is perfect timing. There's flights to space.
I'm good.
$200,000 per flight. 400,000.
Because isn't Elon Musk and them trying to do with SpaceX or whatever? It
was Elon Musk had SpaceX. I don't think he's done commercial flights, but Jeff Bezos is Blue Horizons or Blue Origins. His space company. They go up a lot. So yeah. And I think his shit's like also totally private too. So that should make
I'm
you
good.
think of some shit. Yeah. I'm good too.
Thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah, there's another funny video. This guy's name's Justin Donnelly. and he was stitching off like another video. He goes, "Do you know who you're not gonna find at the bottom of the ocean? Black people."
No. I was gonna say something along those lines earlier, but I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But it's
Well, you say it as a joke, but still.
yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Next. So we've done talk about that. We got some time left.
You got plenty of time left, man.
It's 10 o'clock. Isn't it past your bedtime?
I'm a grown man. I don't have no curfew, right? But you better get this thing out for the RA at your dorm comes knocking. I know that.
We may not have a curfew, but we do have to wake up in the morning, and the more sleep we get, the better for that.
Yeah. Little man's probably gonna be up in like 2 hours while I'm talking shit.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's talk some DC stuff. I know you wanted to hit that up. So I haven't seen The Flash yet. I heard it was so. The CGI and some of the fight scenes looked great, but for the most part, it's flopped, unfortunately. So yeah. What do you know? They changed a lot to try.
That's the unfortunate part, man.
Yeah.
My gosh, it's like I saw the movie, and then I started reading about like all the cameos and all the stuff they took out. It's like, why? It's the last movie of the DC EU, right? Yep. Just fucking let them have it, right? Put the people in there. It's the last movie.
There's a lot of ego with like the Warner Brothers like top brass. Like seriously,
it really is, like, man. It's not just egos. It's just a regime change too. It's just like people just like trying to erase everything.
Yeah, well, I mean that's why kind of like James Gunn kind of there just to let him be like the authority, and hopefully they don't try to overwrite him. But you kind of saw that happen earlier, right? So The Rock came in with like Shazam, and with him and his ego was like, no, I want Henry Cavill as Superman, and he said this a lot. The power dynamic of the DC universe is going to change forever. You saw that a lot.
Bro, I cringed when he kept saying that. It's like, bro, it's not about your character being the best. Like, the fuck.
Yeah. And I tell you, I kid you not, I went through this before. I could not last 10 minutes watching freaking Shazam. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I was like, I can't do this. This is terrible. Honestly, I think it and the Flash movie I heard wasn't terrible. Like you have like a Latino Supergirl, which
Sasha Cal, I believe is her name. She did a great job as Supergirl.
Yeah, I will watch it when it goes on streaming. Like I'm not gonna go to the theater and watch it.
I think that it's flopping, like you said, because it's the last movie of DCU. Then nothing in there is going to be worth anything moving forward, right?
That's correct.
Which is kind of why, like I was saying, like I'm upset. Like,
go all out.
Let's have everybody in there. Like, why recut? And Warner Brothers has just become famous for this, right? Somebody presents the vision. Oh, cut this, do this, cut that, but add this.
Yeah.
Like, just let the vision like move forward, right?
Yeah. I've said what I've said about like Zack Snyder, but you hired him, let him do his job, right?
Man had a 5-movie arc. Like, let it be. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Let him do his job, right?
All right. So I'm gonna give my review real quick. Spoiler free review. So I think the plot of the movie was pretty good. I think as a whole, like the movie was pretty good. It didn't quite like really get me like emotionally involved too much. It was just like it was pretty good. Like it was passable. It was a good popcorn flick, right? Mm-hmm. My issues though, the way they portray Barry Allen, he's a weirdo. It's like he's just a creepy weirdo type dude, right? It's like, and you meet and you see Iris West, in the movie. It's like, how on earth could you find this dude attractive? Like he's just weird. It's like There's no woman I know who would be attracted to that, bro. Like, there's no way. You will be a virgin all your life. Like, there's no way, right? Then you have, I didn't understand the pose that he made before he was about to run. That was stupid.
I heard about that.
I was like, what are you doing, son?
Apparently he got that from like martial arts, right? Like Tai Chi or something, which makes no sense because that's a different type of style. You're running, right? You're not fighting.
There was nothing.
An optimal running movement, right? There's such thing as an optimal running movement, and he runs like this, like he's swimming. It's so weird.
There was nothing about that stance that says martial arts at all. It says you're a clown and you've never run in your life. That's what it says, right?
Doesn't he do this thing where he like touch the ground and like kind of bends down and then goes like this and then like just.
The portrayal, like Ezra Miller is a good actor, right? I was really down on Ezra Miller until I started watching. I had some extra time. I work from home. Okay, I had some extra time on my hands. I watched the Fantastic Beasts trilogy, right?
All of them. Okay.
Okay. I was like, because I only knew Ezra Miller from the Justice League movie, right? And I was just like, this dude fucking sucks. But given the right material, and if you tell him, like, if you write the character good enough, then he knows. I feel like he has a good handle on it, right? But in this movie, he's a creep, a weirdo. Then it's like some of the writing was like they were really trying to put in the humor, and it feels a little forced. There were some genuinely funny moments, but I felt like the humor felt a little bit forced, and it was just like the way he acted, the way he runs, like he's like doing this, and then when he went to time travel, I don't know, it was like he had to run backwards to time travel. I was like, I don't know, man. But then, so it was stuff like that. The weirdness of the way he portrayed the character, the way he was running, and some of that stuff. It kind of takes you like, it took me like out of the movie. It's like, why do they do that shit? You know what I mean? It didn't really let me enjoy the movie as much as I wanted to. Yeah.
Doing too much.
Then, so you have the cameo from Ben Affleck's Batman, which I thought was straight. However, the costume was horrible. I don't know what they were thinking. It was trash. That's other than the bat nipples. I think that's the worst Batman costume I've seen on film.
Wow.
That is the worst Batman costume. And they try to like CGI the cape and a lot of it, so it just did not look real at all. It's like when you saw the Batman costume in Batman v Superman, say what you want to about the movie, right? But that was probably the best. That was the best costume I'd ever seen. Okay, why not just keep that costume throughout? Right?
Yeah.
They made some subtle changes to it for Justice League for the final battle, which I was like, all right, you know, he put on like a little more armor. Not mad at it. But this shit, the cowl is like, it's huge. I mean, it's like huge. It's like this. Yeah, it's like this. Yeah. No way this dude can move. Then he has like this giant like metal plate on his chest. And then the cape kind of like goes off here. So you can't close the cape. It's just like this giant like metal piece. And he's got metal pieces all over the place.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's a lot of Warner Brothers ego. It just seems like it's an all boys club up there. Apparently Henry Cavill was supposed to make an appearance in this movie too, but
he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, nah, we ain't messing with that guy no more.
And Ben Affleck was supposed to be on there at the end. Then they tried to get Christian Bale, supposedly. He said no.
He said, F that.
So I'm not going to spoil who is Batman.
I've read who's in it. I won't do it for anyone else. But
I won't spoil it. But I was like, so all my nitpicks aside, if you're just watching the movie to like enjoy the movie, I do think it's a good popcorn flick. It has a decent plot. It's got some heart, like they've been saying. It is pretty funny in some places. I think Michael Keaton actually did a really good job in the movie, and I like the way he explained, or they explained how time travel works. I thought that was pretty dope.
Okay.
I like the way that I do like the villain in the movie. Because you're thinking it's one thing and then it ends up being something else. I thought it was an interesting turn the way that ended up being. I thought that was pretty good. There was some like negativity about the CGI. So the CGI when he goes into the Speed Force and he's or like time traveling or whatever, like it's really bad, right? It's like I don't know, like PS3 level, PS4 level bad, right? But then I read something where the guy was saying like he said he tried to say it was done on purpose, right? Then there's other people saying, oh, it was just rushed. But I think given when it happens, I kind of feel like it was done on purpose. It's like as this dude is going through the Speed Force, like there's like so much going on that people's faces and the images he sees, it doesn't quite look like it's supposed. It's not like you're viewing it in like HD, right? It's kind of messed up because maybe he's going so fast and there's like so much going on. So you see like just like a lot of this. I don't know. The imagery I thought it was cool, like the way they did it. The CGI like wasn't like super clean and perfect, but I thought given when it happened and where it happened in the movie, I gave it a pass. The CGI for Batman's costume though was trash.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
So I gave it like a.
Nicholas goes super critical.
Yeah, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10 maybe. I don't think it was trash, but at the same time, it's like they didn't really like the hype was like, oh, it's like one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. Nah.
Yeah, the second you start hearing that shit, it's like, is it though? Is it though?
Yeah,
is it though?
No, it's not.
Like you're trying way too hard to sell this thing, and I know it's not as good as
like they had Tom Cruise saying like it was so good, and
out of here.
Then some other.
I know the CEO. The CEO tried to say this is the greatest superhero of all time. Like you are an idiot.
No,
this is the guy. And just keep in mind they canceled Batgirl.
Dude, you have HBO Max. Like, put it out. I don't get it.
Nope, they want a tax credit. 90 million tax credit. So yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit? I don't have a lot to say about like the new DC casting. I barely know the names of like the new Superman. I think they got Superman and Lois now for.
They do.
Superman tomorrow. I know the guy's 6'4", which is pretty tall. I'm curious if they're gonna have a Batman. If they do create a Batman, will he be as tall or taller? So, in Zack Snyder's universe, he particularly wanted the Batman to be a little bit taller than Superman. I don't think it matters that much per se because Tom Hardy, who I thought was a great Bane, was like 5'9".
Yeah,
right.
It's all camera angles, man.
Yeah, they could play some camera angles to like make him look a little bit bigger than what he is. So yeah, I don't really have a lot to say, but I imagine you do. By the way, before we get into that, before we get into that, have you seen Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse yet?
Oh, we're going to see it this weekend.
Okay, must see.
I'm taking the kids. I'm taking the kids to see it.
I'm not even going to talk about it. Watch it. I think it's better than the first one.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I think it's better than the first one, which is shocking because the first one was really good.
It was. I got it. You know what? Yeah,
really good.
I just bought it. Well, got the free download. So I'm
sitting here looking at. I'm like in the movie. Like first 10 minutes, I'm like, how the fuck did you guys make another movie better than the first one?
Yeah,
because the first one was so good.
Yeah,
like, how the fuck did you pull this off?
Probably because they're actually paying attention to story, not just like casting.
The stories
and
are
special
really
effects.
great. Yeah, the story is really, really great. Speaking of like the special effects, though, like a lot of the animators quit because of like horrible working conditions.
They got these ridiculous deadlines. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so it looks like the next one's supposed to come out next year. Probably not gonna happen. And I say take as much time as you need and pay your people. Pay your people. But yeah, thoughts on the castings?
I thought the castings were actually pretty good. I think it kind of sucks that I think was it Nicholas Holt like lost out again. I think he was trying to get like another role too, and he lost
Oh
out.
yeah,
So it was like twice. But
I like him.
yeah, he was good. But I was looking something up, right? So Superman's actual height in the comics is 6'3". He listed at 6'3", 225, and Batman is like 6'2", 210. So
Okay. Okay, so that's kind of like accurate ish.
yeah. So I think it's gonna be good. I don't mind. Again, my gripe is just like what they always have to try and make like Batman's like so old. It's like right. But who I do want to see play Batman. I think it would be dope to have Jensen Ackles as Batman though. Jason Ackles.
Who?
Jason Ackles. Hold on. Let me get the name right. Hold up.
Ackles?
Jason. Jensen Ackles. I had it right the first time. He plays Soldier Boy in The Boys. I think it's Soldier Boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
You want him as Batman?
Yeah, I think he would be a good Batman.
I thought you want a younger Batman, but he's 45 years old.
Given what they're doing with the story, I mean, there's no point in me wishing that they would go with a younger Batman, right? Plus, they're going to be like, oh, well, Robert Pattinson is the young Batman, and it's like, true. Then why don't you just bring him into the freaking DC universe? Then how about that?
I think he did well as Batman.
He did
in the Batman.
He did.
I think the movie was too long. We've talked about this, but he did pretty well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. So yeah. So the two names Superman casting is guy just had his name, David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan.
Yep.
So that's going to be Superman and Lois Lane. And you know what? I'm happy for James Gunn. I think it's going to be a different style than his Guardians of the Galaxy. I think he understands that. I think he understands story and pacing very well. I think he understands comic book movies very well. So I'm really hoping for him this goes well.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, they're just going to gut it and just do something else.
Well, I hope they give him a chance to like make his vision like come to fruition a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so.
So, only thing I'm not too happy about is what's his name? Andy Muschietti, the guy that directed The Flash. He's directing the Batman movie. So I was like, I don't know.
The next Batman movie?
Yeah.
Interesting. Not the Robert Pattinson one, but the DC
Brave and the Bold
one, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. We shall see.
We'll see.
Hopefully it's better. All right, cool. I want to do one last thing. I'll do a quick product review. So I had I was working with a Fire tablet for a little bit, and I mean you get what you pay for. So I paid like $80 for it, right? And the thing about the Fire tablet, if you pay like there's like the $100 option. I'm not sure what it is now. There's like the $80 option. And the option like it comes with like commercials and all sorts of shit. So what I did is I actually kind of cracked it a little bit so it doesn't like do that. So I just downloaded some software that blocks all like commercials from Amazon. At the same time, like one thing about the tablet is that it doesn't offer access to the Google Play Store. So I actually had to like kind of go work our way around that and get Google Play Store on the tablet.
Yep.
But like it got really, really slow after a while, and it was just like it got really, really slow. So a lot of times I'm trying to go to sleep, like I try to watch something.
No bueno.
I have to like press like 8 billion times just to go back or something. And I think last weekend I was like, you know what, I had enough. The Pixel tablet came out. I've heard mixed reviews on it. I usually don't like being an early adopter for things because like they tend to F up, and Google has actually messed up their phones recently too. I think last year with the Google 6. I heard the Google 7's better, but yeah. But actually I have the tablet right here. This is it. My
the new one. That's the new one, right?
The It's the newest one right here.
Okay, look at you.
So picked it up. It comes with the I'm not sure if other the tablets have this too, but it comes with a thumbprint or fingerprint reader just at the top there. Just press that and it opens up. Right now I have it in my dark my bed mode because I'm supposed to be sleeping. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good quality. Again, the bar's low. I had a freaking fire for a while, so it's like anything's great right now. One of the things that this thing comes with, though, is it comes with its own speaker dock.
Right about that.
Right. So the way it works, like you see these little 3 buttons here, right? All you got to do fits on perfectly. Just that here, right? And what this does is that it's this kind of actually acts as a hub for like all of your other devices. So I'm still kind of playing around with it. The only device I actually have connected is like my bedroom lamp back there. But outside of that, one of my favorite things, and again, probably other tablets, I'm pretty sure are already do this. Again, the bar is low for me because I've rolled with the 2002 Fire Stick for a while, or the Fire Tablet for a while. I love the split screen.
Okay.
So I love to be able to like watch Netflix and then see my email. My work computer doesn't allow me to access personal emails, so I have a great switcher between my work computer and my laptop and my desktop here, but I'll have to switch to check emails and whatnot, right? So with this, I can just kind of have my emails. I have it plopped right here, right beside me, and I can kind of do all sorts of things there too, right? So yeah, it's pretty cool. So I like it a lot. I think it's good for the price. So it's like sub 500. Like I almost got the Pixel, not the Pixel, the iPad Pro or iPad Air. Which is pretty solid. Like I don't need something very like extravagant though. Though I may get it in the future. Who knows? To do that. But I like the Pixel because it kind of syncs with all my Google stuff a little bit. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, I like it a lot. It's pretty solid, but I've only had it for a week, so we'll see how it is in a couple weeks or a couple months, right? Or when they have their first update, right? Because that's kind of where things kind of tend to go south.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully this kind of stays decent.
I hope it works out. Yeah. When you said you had an Amazon, I just laughed because
don't blame me for laughing.
My daughter has one, right? And we thought, like I said, I wanted a budget a tablet because it's fucking like 4 years old, right? So,
yeah.
Or at least when she got, I think she was like 4 years old. So I got that tablet. I got like the little cute little like pink rubber like bumper around it. I was like, yo, this is gonna be your thing. You're gonna love it. She did love it, but then, like you said, man, it just got slow, and then it ran out of memory, and then it was just I was like, so there's something about the Amazon operating system, right? Like you once you get all the stuff on there and you use it for a while, but even though you delete like some of your content and stuff, there's a portion on there where like you can't really access it, but it's like full of like all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I've realized that, and now that it's slow and it's basically she just watches like YouTube on it, I'm about to go get everybody an iPad because that's the best tablet.
Whoa, Daddy Longbucks there. Okay.
What pisses me off?
Yeah, you can't go on the iPad.
So this is what pisses me off about iPads, though. I have an iPad Pro, right? I really like it. I do the podcast on it, right? But they're just so expensive, right? So I want to get the kids an iPad. I want to get them an iPad Mini because, in my opinion, I'm like, yo, it's probably going to be cheaper. It's smaller. They can handle it better. I look up the price of the iPad Mini. It's like more than a regular iPad. I'm like, why? You know what I mean? So now that you're talking about this Google Pixel tablet, it's sub 500, and I know that it's like a mid-tierish tablet. Not the best, you know what I mean? But again, I'm looking for simplicity with the kids. So I think I may make that an option later this year. I'll bring it up to the wife.
Yeah.
But
you should. Just understand it comes with like the this thing here, and is really designed to be like a hub for like all your other like Google like devices or IoT devices.
So my understanding is that you can buy the tablet separately.
Maybe I didn't see that option.
That's what Marquez Brownlee. That's what he said.
Yeah, MKPHD. Yeah, I actually read his review, or saw his review before I bought it, and he was like, "Oh, it's pretty good. It's not bad." So yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's not bad. This is the mode where I could like, actually, I just turned off the thing, but this is the mode where I can like control my devices. I only have one device here, so
it's like your Google Home, right?
Yeah, it's like Google Home. You can see the light turn on and off behind me.
Yeah.
Right. So, that's really all. Yeah, it's like you say, it's like your Google Home or whatnot. Just open in app, which is weird. But yeah, no, yeah, that's essentially that. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just something to consider. It feels pretty nice. It has a nice like metal finish around it. Bezels are nice and soft, and whatnot. So yeah,
okay.
It gets the job done. It gets the job done. And not the top tablet, probably not even the top Android tablet. To be honest with you, I heard the One Plus. One other thing I want to add to, it's one of the reasons why I tend to go with Android a lot, or actually Pixel, is because of like the naked or like the sleek or pure OS.
The stock
As you were
Android.
saying with like the stock Android, right? As you were saying with the Amazon stuff, right? Like number one, they use like they use the Android or operating system, but they don't want to pay Google to use like their Google product. That's why they kind of switched everything out of it.
Yep.
But at the same time, it moves slower because there's some bloatware there. So yeah, it's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? Okay, so that's the show. Unless you got anything else?
Nope. That is it.
Nope. Yep. We stopped streaming on the channels. I think it stops at like an hour 45 minutes or some shit like that. So that sucks. But thank you guys all for watching.
Oh, one more thing too. Yeah.
Yes.
The Twitch channel is up. What's our Twitch handle, man?
Targeted podcast.
Just targeted podcast. Look us up.
Yeah.
I'm copping Street Fighter 6 here shortly. If you want that smoke, Slick NL1 is the handle. I'll take any and all challengers.
Nice.
Come see me. Mortal Kombat 2. I might get Mortal Kombat 2.
I need to also pick up Final Fantasy 16 as well. I've heard conflicting like arguments above it. You know that I don't like Final Fantasy 15. So
I thought it was great.
Yeah, and a lot of people thought it was great. I thought it was So, but I think with this Final Fantasy 16, they say it's a little bit more Devil May Cry type thing. Now, I've never played Devil May Cry, but I know Devil May Cry is like a hack and slash game. So that has me a little bit excited because I do enjoy hack and slash games.
It's supposed to be more action RPG. Definitely heard that about it.
Which is what they've been moving towards with Final Fantasy 15, with Final Fantasy Remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what they're trying to do. I'm actually more excited for Final Fantasy Remake than this game. But, yep, I'll try to pick it up. And when I finally get some time off, or actually to get to take my time off, I'll play it.
Hey, it's almost
Cool.
4th of July, man. You got the weekend. Maybe you work Monday, maybe you don't. Then you got the day off on Tuesday. So,
Yeah.
hey, get it in.
Yeah, absolutely. May do that. Okay, cool. Well, it's time. So it's late. Time to get some sleep. So yeah, cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to all of you guys who one of our streams are still up. So the Target Podcast is still up. So if you're watching there, thank you guys for watching. So Dami and Latoya Brown Parker. Thank you guys for showing us some love on Instagram. So please feel free to like, comment, subscribe.
Subscribe.
And yes, subscribe, like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends. Do it now.
Not now. Right now. Right now.
Like right now. Like do it yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. No, but yeah, that's all. Thank you guys so much. Bye.